How y'all doing tonight? Little bonus thing here for you. It kind of swept me on my feet a little bit, so I just want to dive in real quick. This is Ellingtonia, led by a lot of Ellington's crew. You know, Ellington ain't part of it, I don't think. It's Ellingtonia, 56. And you got cats like Cat Anderson, Ray Nance, Jimmy Hamilton, Paul Gonzalez, Britt Woodman, Russell Procope, Quentin Jackson, plus a rhythm section. And beautiful little Norma Grand's production. And it just swings so hard. And there's a lot of, I don't want to call it debate, but people say sometimes black and white don't sound different. But it just does. And I've been digging through a lot of great white jazz lately. These cats can play. But when it comes to personality, when it comes to being boisterous, sensationalized, characterized, these cats sound like old friends in a room talking loud over each other and giving all kinds of high fives and nugs, and it's just like, it doesn't sound like nothing that I can express with the reserved nature of Caucasians. You know what I mean? We'll play fine and we'll be incredible musicians, but there's this kind of macho, bravado, just loud, boisterous, expressive, ebullient, over-the-top nature of a bunch of brothers, black men, hanging out. That by the end of this song, all I could think of was my DJ nights when I play these old soul funk rec nights, and there'd be 300 black folk in the room, in their 50s and 60s and the 40s, you know, some 30s, with their hats and their suits, some had the canes and the Cadillacs, middle class, well-to-do, loud, fun, still leaving by 1:15 because we ain't dealing with the police, but they were such a fun crowd, full of boisterous personality. They all have little trademark things, quirks that they're just, and that's part of what this is about. Each guy has little things that they're doing that are so expressive. So much of my personality is being emoted through my playfulness, my shit talking, my happiness to see you, my I know you got that girl last time, she was good too. Like, there's talking going on. They reminiscing, they sharing. There's times where I hear each one of them doing something. Oh man, it's so fantastic. It's so fantastic. And just listening to it across the room, even though subconsciously I knew what I put on, I kind of forget what I put on. So now I'm over there on the computer, reading something, doing something, and all I could think of was these men that I used to DJ for, playing Curtis Mayfield and Al Green and Barry White and the Delphonics, all that great 60s, 70s soul funk, into like 70s Cameo and the Bar-Kays and Zapp and Roger, all that fun stuff, man. And they would Atomic Dog it. It was such a cool thing. But they'd have their shiny blue suit, a shiny orange suit, hats to match with the shoes. And listening to the end of this song, there's so much that same, that's all I can picture. A bunch of loud brothers talking over each other. You know what I mean? Interrupting. It's so clever. It's so clever. And they hear what you say, but I gotta see, I gotta tell you that. You can't, I'm not listening to you because I gotta say this. Yeah, see, it's the personality. The expression. It's such an expression. And they find such joy in being able to communicate in this code that half the rest of them don't even know what I'm saying to you, but you know what I'm saying to you. Not just musically, but spiritually, emotionally, sexually. I'm communicating things, and you pick up on me because you know me. You know what I'm saying when I say that. You know me for my whole life. So you know if I'm going there with that, I had a good night last night. Or she called me today, we're going back out. I mean, it's the familiarity of this. These men are so familiar and comfortable with each other that they can shout and respond and talk and express, and the cacophony, in spite of the harmonious structure, there's a freedom that's in that that's so ridiculous. When people talk about free with its kind of rigidity and its sonic dissonance, there's a freedom in just screaming through your horn over some familiar chords to your brothers. That's the joy of this music. It doesn't get really much better than that. This is the whole point of it. This is why the language came to be. When I saw my brother Weinstein in 12 months, because he's been in Memphis working on the docks, we could pick up a saxophone and a trumpet, and next thing you know, we imbibing. We might even have a drink or two. But it's that shares our spirit, our soul, our consciousness, and gets us flowing. It's that taps us into that joy. Ain't nothing like that. You know what I mean? That's such a vibrant, just expressive verbal, personality emoting 5 minutes of joy. Cats have known each other since, some of these guys go back 30 years with each other. And I've seen the joy in the black community firsthand when somebody would come in from Atlanta or Chicago or DC, where they ain't seen in 16, 18 months, 2 years, 5 years. That had that kind of tactile emoting, that joyous celebration of vociferous shouting. You can't clown it. This is the real thing. This is what jazz is about. And we can take all the avant-garde we want, the free jazz that we want, all the developments and the modernity that happens, even bebop, all that stuff that's going on. Yet it's that joyful sanctuary. That was the enticing point of it all. It was a sanctuary, a place of joy, a place of sexual innuendo. It's always very suggestive. It's an assist to my prowl. Because I'm prowling, always, you know I gotta be. And this is gonna assist me with that sensual, coy, joyful expression of how cool my life is. Stepping in? Are you ready to roll? Because I'm cool like that. And it's so effortless when the music rolls underneath you like that. We all look good dipped in butter. When it's smooth, when it's candy cream, we all look good. We come out smooth. These men. And Ellington is the embodiment of jazz sexuality. Let's not twist that for any moment. Let's never diminish the fact how sexual a man Ellington is and how much of his creation was wrapped up in the spirituality and the sexuality of man. You know what I mean? He's making out with the Creator and making out with man and woman alike. Ellington was a pretty liberated man, in my opinion. And he comes off as very much a metrosexual, open-minded, LGBT conscious and open decades before that was the norm or even cool to be in the white or black community. And his best friend was Billy Strayhorn, an open homosexual. So I'm not going to pry in the man's laundry. But Ellington had some dalliances and was pretty open to anything that sounded like a good time. And the only thing he seemed to love as much as the delights was his mother and the Creator. But that's harmony in your existence on this planet. I love my Creator, I love the one who birthed me on this creation, and I love my chance to procreate and spread my birth. Like, he's got it figured out. The rest of us are all fooled by chasing after everything else. Ellington's got his priorities in line. God, woman, love, sex. And the music was all just an outlet for all of that expression and all of that he seeks in life. He needed to put a backdrop up there so that he could find his Creator and talk with him, and so that he could comprehend the love he had for this creation. Ellington's a special man. And these men, of course, are the seed of Ellington, and they were raised and bred under Ellington, and they learned the fire of provocation, how to be sensual, how to be enticing, almost manipulative. I'm going to play something that's so endearing. It's going to trickle in. Resistance will be futile. That's the elements. And it's what attracted the white women like it did. That's what scared the white men like it does. The black male. Oh my gosh. You know. But the power of jazz. We try to look forward, try to deduce it, and try to break it down. But it's really that joyful expression of, my brother, I ain't seen you in so long. It's so good to see you. Let's just holler into these horns for a minute and let's catch up. Let's catch up. And white folks catch up too. Me and my white brothers and sisters catch up all the time. But we don't sound like brothers and sisters when they catch up. When a black man catches up with another bunch of black men, there's some personality that comes out, some expression that's really unique and fun and joyous. And it just almost caricature. It's almost like cartoonish how some of them have such developed outward personalities to express things. It's wonderful. I value my time in that community. I learned a lot, not about race, but about how much they try to overlook it. They don't want to talk about it. They don't want to dwell in it. They don't want to focus on it. You know, they know it's a reality and things happen in that community all the time. Never a month goes by where something doesn't put them a little bit under the microscope. It's an exhausting existence. This music was the joy. It was the overcoming. And as a DJ years ago, as I started dipping my toe into jazz, I was a little bit confused by all of it. There's so many different faces to it. It's hard to really get it. But as I got to know the black community in the 2005, 7, 10, 12, 15, spending years DJing from people in their 20s all the way through into their 70s, weddings, anniversary parties, all kinds of events, and then being at a bar sometimes 3 nights a week, building up residencies, building up a soul night, a hip-hop night, kind of a current night, doing all these different things and getting the black community knowing, oh, there's a place I can go where I can hear good music. Marvin and Stevie and Al will be on tap tonight. And that was part of what I was just bringing to the people, and I learned so much. And I learned how humble they were and how gentle and unresentful they really are. And it's really sad to see how the media is perceiving and portrays them. It's so not like the experience. And being raised in Canada, my experience was always very different. But when you come here and you realize, oh, this Cosby Show thing, that ain't what it's really like. It was more like that in Canada, It wasn't really like that here in the U.S. But Ellington, this man, the love, the music, it's a special thing. It's a little bonus thing. Just wanted to share that with you. Y'all be safe. Peace.